Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another small block transport ship. This one right behind me is very odd in the way that it took me a couple of minutes to actually land it down on this platform due to the way it drives. This thing is called the TA-1 Taonii, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, but it's this lovely thing right behind me. This is a very posh, very elegant looking ship that flies with its back facing forwards. That's why the assault cannons, that's why the autocannons are pointing the way they are. Pressing F10 and find this in the spawn menu, the TA-1 is 2,968 small blocks, and there is its name right there, so hopefully I was saying that correctly. But it does use the Sparks of the Future, Wasteland, Heavy Industry, and Decorative Block number 2 DLC packs, and we do have here some nice information such as it's a proof of concept. Then all the way down the bottom, we've got our length, width, weight, height, and all of that, which is always nice to see. So giving this thing a thumbs up, we'll move around towards the very front, we'll have a quick look around the outside, and then we'll fly around for a bit. I think that will be that. So at the very front, what we can see is a bunch of cream and wine red steel blocks that make up the main body of the ship and give it that elegant look. If we were to move up first of all and look at this section, we've got a bunch of window blocks with a few of them being replaced by some transparent LCD screens, because this is how we're going to fly around. If we were to move up just a little bit, that is how the cockpit is sitting. So when we're sitting inside it, we're going to be facing straight up and towards the sun. This is where the confusing controls happen. You have to switch around when you're ready to land down on the landing legs and then move up to fly. Anyway, we'll come down just a little bit. These are the landing legs. They will fold all the way up thanks to 2 hinges, and then they will connect themselves onto that merge block so they're nice and tucked away so they won't rattle around and they have no risk of damaging anything. Pulling away from that and coming over to this section, this is our first hydrogen thruster pod, with hydrogen thrusters being the only form of thrust that appear on this ship. So we've got 1 large one and 3 small ones to slow us down and move us up once we're in space. Moving over to this section, this is how it's been attached up. There's our autocannon, there's our assault cannon in lovely fluorescent green colour. We've got a hydrogen tank right in the middle. Then pulling away from that and looking down, we've got some more hydrogen thrusters to help move us down and to slow us down while flying. We have to move around onto the side, that's what it looks like. A couple more hydrogen thrusters. Then around towards the very back, 2 more hydrogen thrusters and 1 small one. Turning back to the main body, we've got another landing leg with once again a merge block connected up to make sure it doesn't damage anything. Then coming around towards the very back, we do have a ramp to load people up with a button to manually open and close it from on foot. If we were to peer the camera all the way through, this is what we get. So open this up, that's all we can see. And up to here, we've got a ladder that goes up to the cockpit, which is where we just saw. So coming to the back and moving all the way up and looking down, that's all we can see. So we once again got our wine red blocks and the cream blocks just to make a nice little pattern going all the way across it. There's our fluorescent weapons. And there's the cockpit at the front. Dropping down and coming underneath this thing, not be able to see too much, but there's the bottom of our landing legs. There's a connector to dock this thing up. It's only on one side, but there's our thrusters. There's some more great use of our creamy blocks. And going towards the back there, that's our ramp that will open and close thanks to 2 hinges. And there we are. That's a very brief look around the outside of the TA-1. And that's bloody fantastic for how it's all been done. It's such an interesting design, especially with the colour scheme going all the way around it, and of course how the thrusters have been set up. But now what I can do is just grab hold of my character, we'll come around towards the back and access the ramp. We won't go all the way towards the front because we do have another button to open up the lid and go inside that way. So coming all the way around to here, pressing this button, now that'll hold all the way down to the ground, and reveal to us a spotlight to make sure it's nice and lit up on the inside. Now the way the ramp has been set up is that we can walk all the way up without jumping. There we go, and now we're on the inside. We've got the ladder that goes up, got an air vent to make sure we don't suffocate on the inside, and that's about it for what we can see. Just coming out of this, pressing that, closes all the way up, coming around over to here, it might be on the opposite side, yes it is, we should have a button, so pressing that button and then moving backwards, there's the lid opening up, now we can jetpack, come up to here, and that's what we get on the inside. There's the doorway we just saw from the transport area, but now what we can do is just get into the seats, and this is the view we get. So we've got the sun directly below us, if I was to move the camera down, we can see all of our controls, they're on the hotbar. Now coming into the third person view, this is kind of the issue with trying to show it with the third person camera, so we're going to have to stick with the free camera for the moment. Pressing 2 and 3 is going to unlock our magnetic plates, which are attached onto our legs. If we were to get a bit closer, then press number 1, that's now going to fold all the way up and clamp in place. You can sort of see a sudden jolt all the way up, that's perfectly fine. We can press it again, There we go. So it's only when it connects up to that merge block on the top does it move slightly. Number 4 is going to be for our connector underneath this thruster pod. There it is right there. Number 5 we saw with opening and closing the lid. Number 6 is going to be for our ramp at the back. Going all the way around. And then pressing number 6. Down it comes. Then pressing number 6 again. Lift all the way up. Number 7 is for our oxygen tanks on and off. Number 8 is for our hydrogen tanks to stockpile on and off. Number 9 is for our batteries to auto or recharge. Then on tab number 1, these are our general flying controls. So coming into first person view, back into third person because it's going to get quite wonky with this. Number 1, 2 and 3 is going to be for our thrusters around the ship. Number 1 is going to be for the ones underneath. Number 2 is going to be for the ones on the back there. And number 3 is going to be for ones at the front for a cruise control. Number 5 and number 6 is going to be for our auto cannons and assault cannons. Simply pressing that. There's our assault cannons. And there is our auto cannons. But with that all done and out of the way, now what I'm going to do is lift this thing up. So I'm going to press spacebar first of all, and what you're going to notice is that we're going to move up, but slightly back. To counter this, we will need to press W, go all the way up in a straight line. There we go. Now that we're raised up from the platform, what I can do is come into first person view, and now we're going to tilt this all the way down, and that is how we're going to fly it. So bring the free camera all the way up to get a better look at this. That's simply how it flies around, and why the wings have been angled, why the guns are sitting like they are. So putting the camera away, then scooting this thing forwards, there we go. We can now move it left to right, down and up with all the usual controls. So in first person view, we won't go into third person because we're going to be blocked quite a lot. Moving forwards, this is the speed we get. We are pretty fast, which is very nice to see. Coming to a stop, we are a lot slower, and we just about have enough gyroscope controls to do a 180 to slow this down a bit quicker. So then that come to a stop, moving left. There we are quite slow with that. Moving right will be equally as slow. Moving down, not as bad left or right. Then moving up, should be faster than everything else. Yes, it is. Then as you saw from the 180, just moving away and hopefully the sunlight is going to be sitting onto this. This is the gyroscope controls, so we are very heavy, very meaty, and does take quite a lot of getting used to if you're trying to do some tight maneuvering. As for that, that's pretty much it for the TA-1 Taonii. It's a lovely looking ship, very elegant, very sleek design, and very interesting with how it's been set up. So to end this video, what I'm going to do is not crash it, not blow it up, not set against any kind of space powers, but instead show you how this thing lands. As we were to move forward, so you probably noticed that we're not slowing down too well. When we come over to tab number 2, we have to rotate this all the way down like so. There we go, we've got to move the camera up. In first person view, this is what it looks like. So we don't really have any kind of good references. It would be very good to have a camera on this. Now, I need to move this thing down. Pressing C is going to move us forwards. So we need to press S and C at the same time. It's going to move us straight down. We're going to very slowly come down to this very weird asteroid that I made. Just went around with the Vauxhall tool, made a bunch of cubes. And once we start to get close to the ground, need to move it a bit forwards. I'm going to press number 1, that's going to put our landing legs all the way down. We are now ready to land onto the surface. And here we go, tilt down a bit more. And in 3, 2, 1, just about. I think we're actually going to be hanging off the edge there. And down we come once again. There we go, we are now ready to lock. That is all done. Oop, there we are. Now we can press number 5, we can press number 6, let everybody out. And away we go. So there we go, that is that for this lovely ship. There'll be a link to it in the description below if you wish to download it and play around with it yourself. Highly recommend you do because it is an interesting design. And I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.